It's penguin time! Oh, so one of the most interesting traditions of the BVW show is that we don't only celebrate everything that worked really well and everything that went wonderfully, we also celebrate things that failed dismally.
Spectacularly.
If you go out tonight and look at the Pausch Bridge, and if you're new to it and you haven't seen it before, you really do want to see it at night. It's lit up so beautifully, but you'll see laser carved into it are all kinds of tiny shapes, and some of them are tiny penguins. And those tiny penguins are meant to be evocative of a tradition that Randy started in the Building Virtual World show of giving a special award to the team that failed the biggest and the boldest and the worst. We used to call it the Best Failure Award, but then at some point it turned into the First Penguin Award, the idea being that the first penguin to jump into the water is the one that all the others will follow if he survives.
So there's two criteria. One, of course, is that you fail spectacularly. The other is that you reach spectacularly. You have to do something pretty darn bold and pretty darn ambitious to earn a penguin.
Right. And so
Our winners
are...
Any votes? Let me pull this out, which I just put in. This is a tradition. This year we are breaking tradition a bit in that we're sharing penguins across two teams. Please congratulate the inventors Kerfuffle and Space Airship. And you know why. So in terms of what was really, really big, what these two teams did, which was pretty spectacular, this was early on in round 2, was pretty early in the design concept, they realized that they had similar themes. They were both going for this steampunk sort of Victorian inventor business. So they decided to actually collaborate, both story-wise, technology-wise, asset-wise, across two worlds. This was a pretty bold undertaking to not only do your project, but to hold the hand of another team and swap off. They were also on two separate platforms. One was a head-mounted display, and then you saw the airship was a balloon.
And this is a class meant to be all about teamwork, and in 10 years of BVW, we'd never had two teams say, you know what, we're not going to be competing with each other, we're going to work together and build a unified experience. And so we just thought that was a wonderful vision, a wonderful noble undertaking that we hope many other teams follow.
An interesting thing about this is technically the projects aren't what's getting the award. Technically the transition is getting the award because that was a spectacular failure. Although both projects did crash, I'm just saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
they both did. Each individual one. There's another thing the two of them had in common. They both crashed miserably when they tried to run them.
My particular favorite moments, there's so many for this one. This was the naive guest round. So the naive guest that these students pulled up out of the audience to practice their worlds was none other than Mike, our security guard over in the ETC. In complete uniform, badge, handcuffs, the whole 9 yards. He sits down and puts on a head-mounted display. The first thing that the inventors Kerfuffle team did was, of course, take off his glasses and blind him as he tried to travel through this world driving a crazy train. He didn't even notice the crash because he was completely blind. So then that world ended soon, earlier than it had. So Freddie and his airship team were suddenly called upon to do the transition much, much sooner than they had expected, and that did not go well at all. And they knew it wasn't going well when Freddie asked Mike, Freddie, do you remember what you asked Mike? I'm sorry, Dr. Wigglebottom? You asked Mike if he carried a gun, because he knew it was spiraling out of control in a horrible, horrible way. So when you have to ask your guest, do you have a gun, I think you've set yourself up. You've admitted you deserve a penguin.
Now you might be saying that, wait a minute, we saw that balloon thing here and it worked just fine. Yeah, it works fine now. And
another thing we want to celebrate.
Another thing to celebrate is that the team took, even though it was, after it was graded and evaluated and over, they said, you know what, no, we're going to step up and we're going to fix this and we're going to make it better, even though it was beyond that. So there are multiple things we want to celebrate with these two teams this year.
So let's call these teams up to claim their rightfully and hard-earned First Penguin Award, Building Virtual Worlds Fall 2009. We'll just call him SK. He's the programmer from India. Come on up. We'd also like to celebrate David Tiot. He might be on duty backstage.
I'll hold it for
And
him.
how about Stephen Dewhurst?
You stay here. Stay.
You hated him as the villain. Oh, there he is. Thank you, sir. And of course, Craig Wells. He's also an usher, so he'll usher himself right up the stairs there. He's up for...
Right? Oh, well, you got to people up there. Right.
Paul Wee. Where you at, Paul?
That right here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kimberly Kaiser. Thank you. Careful up those stairs. Your usher's already up here. Evelyn Chang. She's the model. And of course, Dr. Wigglebottom himself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
So now we have another. This is the first time we've had 8 penguin awards, and yet we've only got 4 penguins.
Right.
Any proposals on how we share this across teams? How we split them?
We had to decide what to do, so in the spirit of the way these guys split things across the 2 teams, we're going to take these. There you go.
We have split penguins.
And rip them in half. And so you each get half a
BVW
penguin.
2009 split penguins.
All right. There you go.
Everybody gets a beak, a foot, and a wing.
Make a wish. All right. Excellent.
I wish we never have a guard with a gun up
Yeah.
on stage again.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, no more armed guests.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Well done.
Well, let's hear it again for these guys.